There is a horrifying custom in the remote and impoverished areas of Somalia. They think women's lower body is dirty, so when the girls in the family grow up to the age of 3, they must undergo a special ceremony of the tribe. On that day, the mother will carry her daughter to a deserted mountain. Then the elders of the tribe will perform the operation. She will use a rusty blade to take away the girl's female characteristics without disinfection and any anesthesia. Finally, the girl will be thrown into the rubble for a day. If she is not killed by the pain before dark, then she can be taken home to continue to be raised. Walasai is the child who survived this cruel ceremony. She thought that her pain would only be experienced once when she was 3 years old, but when she got her first period at the age of 12, her ordeal had just begun.
Way fiican tahay taas. Waxay muujinaysaa in aad weynaatay waa naag noqotay.
On the first day after her period, her father sold her to a nomadic old man next door, but what she got back for her family were only 5 skinny camels. Facing her mother's helplessness, Walasai was unwilling to marry an old man. So that night, she secretly said goodbye to her brother and fled from here. That night, Walasai ran for an unknown period of time. She didn't dare to stop until dawn. She lost her straw sandals and her feet were worn out, and she could only eat the plants on the roadside to fill her stomach. A few days later, Walasai finally came to the city after going through hardships. She found out her grandmother's home with limited information. Grandma felt very distressed to see her like this, but she was helpless because of the opposition of her family. In order to let her granddaughter survive, the moment the plane took off, Walasai's miserable childhood was hidden in her heart. During her time as a maid in the UK, Walasai spent her youth in the basement except for being ordered in cleaning every day. This seemingly stable life lasted for 6 years. Until this day, a report in the news broke his peace again, because war way again. But facing this country where she couldn't speak the language, she didn't know if she could survive. Walasai could only fill her stomach by picking up garbage every day. This went on for a long time, until she was angry and wanted to call the police to arrest Walasai. But Walasai couldn't understand her roar at all. She could only try to took her in for one night because she felt sorry for her. The next day, when Mary was still sleeping, Walasai got up early. She cleaned the room spotlessly. She even brought Mary a cup of coffee. Walasai's behavior made Mary feel warm. Before leaving, she was very happy. Mary recommended a place for Walasai to work. Soon after, Walasai successfully found a job in a pizza shop. For a period of time afterwards, she worked diligently during the day. After work at night, she went to see her only friend, Mary. Unconsciously, she had already regarded Mary as her own family, because Walasai's English level was very poor. In order to communicate normally with people in a foreign country, she had to start learning English seriously. Although her level improved quickly, she was always reminded by her boss because she didn't like to smile. But it was her face that rarely smiled that attracted the attention of a diner that day. The other party said that he was a photographer. He was now looking for a new face as a model. And while the girl who escaped from the remote feudal tribe came to the bar for the first time, watching her friend dancing to her heart's content, she seemed like an outsider. Just then a man approached her. The other party was very handsome and gentlemanly. The two chatted easily. Then the man invited Walasai to dance. This time Walasai did not refuse. But as the music became softer, the two began to get closer and closer, because they thought it was shameful and impure. That night she stood by the river for a long time. She was ashamed of what she had done tonight. But what she didn't expect was that when she returned home, she happened to see her best friend Mary and her boyfriend making out. This scene made her very angry. She thought her best friend was a slut. She told Mary that only women who had been circumcised were pure, but Mary obviously didn't know what she meant by circumcision.
You're not cut? What do you mean?
When Walasai showed her her wound, Mary was completely shocked, because there has always been a custom in the feudal tribe of Walasai. When girls are 3 years old, their female features must be cut off by the elders of the tribe. It can only be reopened by the husband at marriage. They regard this cruel custom as the purity of women. It was not until this moment that Walasai finally realized that not every woman would be sent to be circumcised by her mother. Not all women are like her, but it was too late to know all this. The psychological and physical damage will follow her for the rest of her life. One day not long after, the sequelae of circumcision caused Walasai to have severe abdominal pain. When Mary sent her to the hospital, even the doctors were stunned. They dared not imagine what kind of torture the woman in front of them had suffered. Because Walasai's English was not very good, the attending doctor specially found a nurse from the same country as Walasai to translate. But facing this woman who was devastated by circumcision, the nurse's translator seemed to be rubbing salt into her wounds. Walasai recalled her miserable childhood. She had experienced countless dangers before escaping from that hellish tribe.
Now she finally has a normal life. She doesn't want to give up her chance to be a normal woman.
At this moment, she has made up her mind. She wants to change her fate, so she decisively turned back to the hospital. She had the operation accompanied by her good friend Mary, who had more smiles on her face than before, in order to have a better life. After being discharged from the hospital, she immediately found the photographer who gave her the business card. Although Wallacei is very unfamiliar with photography, but under the guidance of photographer Donaldson, Wallacei's model essence was still perfectly captured by his lens. Since his introduction, Wallacei's modeling talent was instantly discovered by the company. Although she didn't know how to catwalk at first, but under a series of teachings from Donaldson, not only was she able to look directly into the camera with confidence soon, he even gradually developed a talent that surpassed other models. Because of Wallacei's outstanding performance, the company decided to support her to go abroad to participate in competitions. This also means that she will have the opportunity to go out into the world and onto a bigger stage. Before leaving, Wallacei used the first money she earned to buy a gift for Mary. Although the price of the just when she was confidently preparing to go abroad, an accident happened again at this critical moment.